Do you worry about media attacks since now working with Trump? Well, did it work with Trump? 89% of the media was negative, and he still became president. What we witnessed with this election is the death of the mainstream media. Their narratives just don't work anymore. The things they say don't work anymore. And the conversations they have are so vacuous and shallow. Nobody pays attention, which is why MSNBC is probably going to be sold. CNN is doing mass layoffs. The model's broken. And that's why Jeff Bezos wrote that article the other day where he prevented them from endorsing Kamala. And he said, we have to be perceived to be nonpartisan and not biased. And currently, we're obviously partisan and biased. So the whole makeup is going to change, and it's going to take a little bit of time. It's kind of like when 80s rock turned into 90s rock. They wanted to continue the 80s rock, all the bands there, like the Scorpions and Metallica, and then I guess there was Motley Crue and the canonical 80s bands. And then in 90s, you had grunge and, you had Nirvana and, these types of things. And the music industry kind of got blindsided because they thought it was going to be a continuation of the 80s and there's a different style. So that's going to happen with media. There's going to be a renaissance of media, and long form media is back in. Podcasts are back in. Rogan's far more powerful than any of the newspapers or these things. And people who embrace those formats are rewarded. JD Vance and Trump went on Rogan. They spent 3 hours unrestricted. Kamala said that Rogan had to go to her. It was only going to be an hour. She has to see all the questions in advance. They have edit control of the interview. That's what you could ask for 60 minutes, but you can't ask that for Joe Rogan because it's the Joe Rogan experience. And you're going to go on and have the experience. That's how they roll. So the fact that Trump won and she didn't, it says that you have to submit to this new model. And so future politicians on both sides of the political aisle and everywhere in between, they're going to start embracing it. And you see it, like Fetterman went on the Joe Rogan experience. That's very brave of him to do. He has the brain damage from the stroke, and it's really hard for him to process language. And you're going to go and talk to Joe Rogan for 2 hours on a podcast. But he had a lot of bravery to go on, and kudos to him. Bernie Sanders went on, and other people went on. So that is where we're moving. And that type of media, the criticism is really different. The criticism is about your ideas. The criticism is about things you haven't thought through enough, or perhaps there's a conduct issue, but at least get to explain your side of the story instead of 100% is virtue signaling 24/7. So we live in a different world now.